Prepare for the miraculous supermoon, a divine revelation manifested on October 6th to 7th, 2025. In the quaint village of St. Mary S., where cobblestones whispered the tales of ages past, an air of expectancy crackled with the impending supermoon. The whole village felt alive, almost electrified, as if the heavens had a promise to fulfill. Anna, a devoted member of the choir, stood in the chapel, her heart heavy as she dusted the old wooden pews. Despite the serene beauty of the place, her mind was entangled in shadows. Her brother, Mark, was gravely ill. As she ran her fingers across the smooth spine of an old Bible, something peculiar stirred. The moment she opened it, a golden light shimmered from the pages, bathing her in warmth. Words leaped out, proclaiming a prophecy of healing bound with a celestial event. Hope welled up inside her, a glimmer in a sea of despair. With urgency in her heart, Anna brought this ancient prophecy to the prayer meeting, her voice trembling with a mixture of excitement and dread. God has promises here. We can pray for Mark's healing. The supermoon, this is our chance. But whispers of skepticism spread through the gathering like ripples on still water. Miracles don't just happen, one member quipped, shaking his head, while another sighed heavily, voicing doubt. Anna's heart sank, the burden of her brother's fate seeming heavier than ever. Was this truly God's will? Her pastor, Damien, regarded her with compassion, though his eyes held weariness. His own faith was waning under the strain of division within his flock. Desperate, Anna called for a family vigil, as tradition dictated. They gathered under flickering candlelight, sharing their hearts and fervently invoking St. Jude, the patron of lost causes. Each prayer rose like incense, mingling with the sacred air, each word a plea for guidance, support, and above all, a miracle. As night drew near, an unusual stillness swept through St. Mary's. Something holy was about to unfold. On the eve of the supermoon, a strange energy filled the chapel, and Anna felt the atmosphere shift. Outside, the moon hung low and radiant, casting silvery beams like fingers of light. Candles flickered in response, casting dancing shadows. Swirls of warmth enveloped her family, their breaths synchronizing in deep prayer. Whispers brushed against Anna's ears, feelings of reassurance and presence, like celestial hymns encouraging belief. Yet, doubt nagged at her heart, making her tremble as she looked toward the chapel door, half expecting something far greater than earthly reality to step through. As the supermoon reached its full glory, Anna's entire world seemed to hold its breath. Just then, a surge of energy surged through the chapel like a tidal wave. Mark gasped, his body resting on the cold, hard stone floor, surrounded by the fervent prayers. In that moment, golden light radiated from him, illuminating the chapel in an otherworldly glow that made gasps ripple through the congregation. Anna's heart raced at the sight. Was this real? Was this the miracle she had prayed for? Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As the light flickered around her, filling the chapel with warmth and glory, Anna faced the congregation. Their reactions were mixed, mingled with skepticism. They had witnessed the remarkable, yet their hearts hesitated on the edge of belief. Could this truly be a manifestation of the divine? Anna felt the weight of their expectations pressing upon her, each gasp of disbelief, each whisper of doubt, echoing in the spaces between. As the moonlight ebbed, the village clung to a fragile hope, questioning what they had seen. Would this moment unite them in unwavering faith, or would they fall apart, fragmented by skepticism? Anna pondered the transformation this one night could bring. sensing deep down that something miraculous had crossed the threshold of their lives. What divine purpose awaited them in the dawn's light? The chapel buzzed with an electric energy, a sweet tension hanging in the air as if the very walls were holding their breath. Anna looked around, searching the faces of her family and friends for a sign, an indication of what they must do next. Finally, Mark's gaze locked onto hers. It was an expression threaded with uncertainty, yet flickering with the remnants of life. Anna, he croaked, his voice faint but steady, lifting the atmosphere of doubt just a little. Did you see me? What happened? Tears brimmed in Anna's eyes as she stepped closer. You glowed, Mark. It was like heaven shining through you. The supermoon, it brought something powerful. Behind her, whispers spiraled. He.S. delirious. It's a trick of the light. Skepticism swirled heavier than before, threatening to extinguish the fragile flame of faith that had ignited. But Anna took a deep breath, focusing on the warmth within her heart. No, she declared, her voice rising above the murmurs. This is real. Whatever doubts you have, let them go. We can't let fear close our minds to what God can do. Her fervor wrapped around the congregation like a cloak, inviting them into a shared belief. Pastor Damien stepped forward, his hand upon Mark's forehead, feeling the pulse of life returning. He uttered a quiet prayer, settling into the rhythm of divine connection. We come together, Lord. We ask for your Spirit to guide us now. Let your presence be known. Anna felt the air shift again, thick with something sacred. The candles, once flickering haphazardly, now glowed consistently, illuminating the sanctuary with a peaceful radiance. Then, there was a hush fell over the chapel, as if the supermoon above tuned into their prayer. The congregation grew still, the tide of doubt receding. Hearts began to open. Anna sensed recognition among them, as if they were tapping into a deep well of divine hope that had been buried under years of disbelief. Mark, someone from the back shouted, startling them all. It was Helen, a once enthusiastic believer whose faith had ebbed through the years. Is this truly a miracle? Can we really believe? We prayed, so long her admission echoed within them, stirring something buried deep. Anna grasped onto the moment. Yes, we can believe. Look at what has already happened. This is not just for us, it is for everyone who has ever lost hope. God is at work. The words sank in, and slowly the congregation shifted. Hands began to clasp together, murmured prayers entwined as they called upon the divine presence to weave through them. Anna felt the tremors of belief begin to strengthen, restoring a faith that had waned. Outside, the supermoon brightened, casting an even softer light. Mark's strength surged visibly, and for the first time, Anna noticed his smile breaking through the weariness. Anna, I feel, he started, but a sudden gasp swept through the chapel. The golden light that had surrounded Mark flickered and danced again, enhancing the magical atmosphere. The congregation gasped together as they witnessed the impossible. A glowing figure materialized just beyond the altar, a vision neither could explain nor deny. Ayana held her breath, awe painted across her features. Was this an angel? A sign from above? Or was it yet another distraction? The whisper of confusion lapped at her heart, but deep within, the glimmer of faith sparked anew. In that moment, Anna realized the path before them was not merely about Mark's healing. It was a call to all who had gathered, a moment to transform hearts. Together, they stood on the brink of something profound. As the figure grew more defined, the chapel filled with a warmth that felt like home, and she knew that the true miracle was unfolding in their hearts. Was it too late to answer the call? Across the congregation, fear shifted toward solidarity. A unified response began forming, a collective bravery born from shared hope. What awaited them beyond this revelation? Would they dare step further into the light? With renewed urgency flashing in her heart, Anna felt the veil of mystery deepen. The figure before the altar shimmered softly, its presence commanding the attention of every soul in the chapel. Eyes widened, mouths slightly agape. They were witnessing something extraordinary, a glimpse of the divine, an ethereal being radiating warmth and peace. Anna's heart raced. This was more than just a flicker of hope, it was a call to embrace the impossible. As the golden light enveloped the figure, it felt like an invitation, a beckoning to come closer, to trust the unseen path laid before them. Anna exchanged glances with Mark. His eyes sparkled with a mixture of wonder and belief. "Can you feel that?" he whispered. She nodded fervently, feeling the energy surrounding them. It was better than anything she had ever experienced, a tangible touch of heaven. "Angel of light." Pastor Damien spoke boldly, raising his hands to the figure as the congregation began to murmur in reverence. "We seek your guidance. Show us the way." His voice, though tremulous, carried authority, a resonance that unified their hearts. Anna watched as others joined him, hands gripping each other with a fervent need for connection to the divine. The figure shifted subtly, and an exhilarating peace flooded through Anna. She felt as if every burden she ever carried was being gently lifted. This is it, she thought. This is what we've longed for. It was a sacred moment, a divine intersection of hope and belief. "Mark," Helen cried, her voice rising above the symphony of prayers. "Do you think it's here for you?" Mark took a deeper breath, his spirit lifting as though buoyed by the golden light. "I believe so." His words, shaky yet filled with faith, echoed throughout the room, building a bridge of trust. With newfound strength, he, too, reached out to the figure, each step forward a testament to his belief. Anna couldn't hold back the tears now. They streamed freely, each drop a release of doubt solidified in the past. The chapel felt alive, pulsating with the collective hope of those gathered. She turned her gaze back to the glowing figure. Was it an angel sent to guide them? Was it a messenger from heaven? Or was it simply a reflection of the light igniting within them all every time they chose faith over fear? As if in response, the figure tilted its head, a gentle nod that seemed to affirm their longing. A spectrum of colors emanated, swirling together, intermingling like the breaths of a sacred hymn. Voices broke into song, harmonizing unwritten melodies, and Anna felt lifted higher. "Let faith arise within us," someone declared. "Let hope guide our hearts." Another chimed in. The atmosphere thickened, the air crackling with electricity. In that very instant, a wave of spiritual urgency swept through them. "This is just the beginning," Anna proclaimed, her voice booming, a chorus of faith rising behind her. "This is a moment meant for all of us, a chance to reclaim what we thought was lost." The energy shifted again, thick and rich. Anna's heart raced, not just for what was happening, but for the stirring within her soul. Here they stood, on the brink of divine revelation. This wasn't just about healing Mark. It was about a community awakening to their divine potential, about lives being transformed. In the midst of the wondrous atmosphere, Anna felt a stirring in her spirit, a question yearning to be asked. What would they choose now? What was beyond this moment? Together, they needed to move forward bravely into the light. As the figure took a step toward them, glowing more intensely, her heart whispered a prayer. "Do we have the courage to fully embrace what you're offering?" The air buzzed with a sense of divine anticipation as the chapel awaited its fate. The figure glided forward, the golden light pulsating like the heartbeat of a universe. Anna's breath caught in her throat. In that moment, she felt an indescribable connection, as if every soul in the chapel was woven together in a tapestry of faith and light. The atmosphere shimmered with possibility, and she could sense that they stood at the threshold of a transformation that surpassed their wildest dreams. Mark's hand tightened around hers. "What happens now?" he asked quietly, hope mingling with uncertainty. His voice trembled, yet it was laced with determination. "Now, we trust," Anna replied, her heart swelling. They all needed to move together, to blend their hopes and fears into a collective offering of prayer. The figure paused, surveying the congregation with compassion, as if listening to each whispered thought that reverberated through the chapel. "Carry your hearts forward," the figure spoke, the voice resonating like a smooth stream, calming yet powerful. "You have come to the edge of what you believe is possible. Open yourselves to the divine spark within, for miracles await those who dare to hope." A collective gasp rippled through the chapel. Wide eyes blinked in unison, absorbing the message. Anna saw understanding bloom in her neighbors. Each face was lit with a growing conviction that the impossible would indeed become possible. "Miracles," Pastor Damien breathed, overwhelmed by the weight of the word. In this very moment, we are reminded of the promises that lie deep within our faith. He gestured to the figure, the embodiment of divine presence. "Let us come together. Let us seek the miraculous." As he spoke, the golden aura around the figure expanded, casting a warm glow that enveloped the entire room. Shimmering orbs of light began to dance around them, each one a representation of prayers lifted to the heavens. Joyful murmurings erupted as people raised their hands, reaching for the ethereal joy that filled the air. Anna felt emboldened, a wave of faith washing over her. "We are ready," she proclaimed, her voice ringing out like a bell. Suddenly, the air crackled again, as if the very fabric of reality was shifting beneath their feet. "What if we are called to step beyond doubt?" Mark whispered beside her. Anna met his gaze, the fire of belief igniting anew. They must choose faith, even when faced with uncertainty. In that moment of resolve, she dared to envision not only Mark's healing, but the healing of their entire community, the scars of loss, the weight of grief, all washed away in the flood of divine love. The figure extended a hand, beckoning them closer. "Step forward in faith. Embrace the unknown, for your hearts will guide you." Something profound began to unfold. The congregation's voices surged in a collective prayer, each whispering tapestry of need threaded by love and hope. Anna closed her eyes, surrendering her heart to the presence. Then came a stirring deep within, like the first breath of the dawn after a long night. Emotions swirled, a chaotic mixture of joy, expectation, fear, and faith. What if they could change their destiny together? A vibrant light exploded from the figure, illuminating every corner of the chapel, wrapping them in warmth as if heaven had opened its gates. They were weightless, suspended in a moment where time felt irrelevant. With hearts lifted, the assembly began to sing, harmonizing in a sacred chant that echoed the longing of generations for restoration. And as Anna raised her voice, she felt a divine assurance settling within. This was not merely a call for the miraculous, but a promise of transformation. Through their faith, through their willingness, something incredible was on the horizon. As the song crescendoed, the figures stood resolute, and the air thickened with anticipation. What awaited them just beyond their understanding? That divine mystery hung heavily, ready to be fully revealed. As the congregation's melody swelled, Anna felt an electric pulse within her heart, like the flicker of a cherished flame. Each note carried their hopes higher, weaving through the air, binding them ever closer to the divine. She opened her eyes, letting the brilliance of the golden light wash over her, filling every crevice of her soul. "Can you feel it?" Mark's voice trembled, filled with awe. "It's as if the very heavens are leaning in, waiting to hear us." Anna nodded, her heart racing. She looked around, seeing families, friends, and neighbors all connected in this sacred dance. Faces glistened, some with tears of joy, others illuminated by a profound peace. She remembered their struggles, their shared stories of heartache. Now, united, they were an unstoppable force, believing in the impossible. The figure's gaze was piercing yet reassuring, a silent invitation that ignited hope deeper than any doubt. Anna moved forward, and she could see others following suit, stepping towards that radiant presence. "We are ready," she cried out again, her voice a shout of defiance against despair. "In faith we gather," Pastor Damien proclaimed, his arms raised in surrender, and the congregation responded with thunderous agreement. Let our cries reach his ears. Let our hearts pour fort. As the golden light around the figure pulsed, it seemed to respond to their fervor. Around them, shimmering orbs blazed brighter, dancing with a rhythmic grace that mirrored the heartbeat of their prayer. Anna felt each orb holding a story, a plea, radiant with love and longing. Then, as if the universe itself was taking a breath, the air around them shifted. A soft whisper echoed among the assembly, carrying messages of hope. You are loved, you are enough, and new dawn is upon you. Every word fell gently, wrapping around Anna like a cloak of warmth. With each note of their song, she sensed layers of burdens being shed. It was as though the chapel itself exhaled in relief, releasing years of pain, the weight of grief melting away in the divine light. Open your hearts, urged the figure, its voice a soothing balm. Let the love within you flow forth. Every tear has been counted, every joy has been seen. Now embrace this moment. The miraculous is just beyond your step. With a shared breath, the congregation stepped closer, their outstretched hands reaching for the light. In that act of faith, something extraordinary began to stir. A warmth blossomed in Anna's chest, spreading throughout her body, filling her with an inexplicable comfort. It was the embrace of divine love. Miracles, she whispered, as if trying to grasp the enormity of the word. It danced on her lips, a promise cocooning her heart. She imagined their community flourishing, every wounded spirit finding solace, the hearts of the grieving bursting with joy again. Suddenly, the light intensified, surging in vibrant waves that pulsed like the rhythm of praise. The walls of the chapel seemed to dissolve into shimmering energy. And then, an uproarious cheer erupted. They felt a shift, a palpable awakening, as if the very ground was cradling their prayers. What is happening? Mark asked, eyes wide with wonder. Anna held his gaze, the energy between them electric. It's beyond what we can see, she said, breathless. It's the promise of what God still has in store, a new beginning as they basked in that holy radiance. Anna knew they were on the brink of transformation, their faith igniting a revolution of hope. The air crackled with possibilities, almost tangible. But just as quickly as it began, a sudden stillness enveloped the chapel. Awed silence wrapped around them, waiting, anticipating something monumental. What will it be? Her heart whispered, a question lingering in the stillness, poised for the divine revelation that awaited them next. The stillness that filled the chapel was thick, almost electric, as if the very air was holding its breath, waiting for a sign. Anna felt each heartbeat resonating, a collective pulse that echoed the thoughts and prayers of the gathered souls. She glanced at the radiant figure, its presence somehow both gentle and commanding, and felt a deep stirring within her. Can it be? She wondered, the thought teasing the edges of her mind. Is this the moment we've all been waiting for? In that suspended silence, the golden light intensified once more, a shimmering cascade that washed over the congregation. They stood, eyes wide, hands still outstretched, faces lit with anticipation and expectancy. There was something almost sacred about this stillness, a sacred pause before divine revelation. It felt like the moment just before dawn, when night hesitates, holding onto the stars for just a little longer. Prepare yourself, the figure spoke, its voice a melodic echo that seemed to resonate within their very cores, guiding the way. Tonight, I will unveil a miracle. Tonight, your faith will ignite a change that echoes throughout all time. A wave of murmurs rippled through the crowd. What will it be? Someone asked softly, their voice tinged with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. The question floated, unanchored, a hopeful longing in the air. Anna felt her spirit quicken. It's a promise, she breathed, knowing with certainty that this was more than an event. It was a divine intersection of love and purpose. She was poised at the cusp of something profound. The atmosphere throbbed with an energy that seemed to whisper truths older than time itself. Feel the love. Open your hearts, the figure continued, drawing the congregation in with its warm gaze. Let it flow like a river that nourishes every dry place. Suddenly, the walls shimmered into view again, and within each shimmering orb hovering above them, flickered images of healing, joy, and surreal beauty. There were snapshots of hope, stories of redemption that danced like stars in the night sky. Anna saw familiar faces within those orbs, friends who had lost loved ones, families who had faced insurmountable hurdles, individuals yearning for healing from their pasts. A profound realization struck her. This was not just a moment for their community. It was a call to unity. Each life, every story was intertwined in the weave of God's purpose. What if this is a call for us to grasp the moment and emerge united? Anna spoke, her voice breaking through the silence like the first light of dawn. What if our miracle is in our togetherness? Those words hung in the air, igniting flickers of understanding and acknowledgement. The congregation shifted, moving closer together, their hands joining not just in reach, but in spirit, creating a tapestry of faith woven tight with hope. Let us receive this gift, Pastor Damien said, his eyes alight with fervor. We are here, ready to be vessels of his miracles. As they leaned into that radiant presence, Anna felt a vibrant current of love flowing between them, a sense of belonging that transcended their individual struggles. The golden light surrounding them pulsed softly, then began to form shapes, shimmering wings, radiant beams, and cascading waterfalls, as if every miraculous image they had longed for was beginning to unfold before their very eyes. But just then, a shift in the atmosphere caught Anna's breath. A ripple of uncertainty ran through the assembly as darkness flickered at the edges of their vision. The shimmering orbs dimmed momentarily, and a whisper, haunting yet powerful, swept through the crowd. Every miracle comes at a cost. Will you pay it? At that pivotal moment, Anna's heart raced, a mixture of excitement and apprehension. The question hung in the air, echoing around the walls of the chapel. It pressed against her thoughts, igniting a deep resolve to understand what was being asked of them. What was the cost of their anticipated miracle? What sacrifice lay ahead? The silence deepened once more, pregnant with possibility, awaiting the answers to their unspoken prayers. A hush engulfed the chapel, an almost palpable tension as if the very walls were caught in a breathless contemplation. Anna's heart raced, each beat thrumming with the urgency of the moment. What price were they prepared to pay for the miracle that danced just out of reach? It loomed before them like a bright star, yet shrouded in mystery. The radiant figure stepped closer, its golden light pulsating gently like a heartbeat, an invitation wrapped in wonder. Miracles demand sacrifice, dear souls. It spoke, its voice weaving through the congregation like a sweet melody. Ask yourselves, what are you willing to give up? What burdens will you release to embrace the gift of hope? Thoughts swirled in Anna's mind. Sacrifice was a heavy word, filled with the weight of past pains and future uncertainties. She glanced at her neighbors, feeling the collective heartbeat of their community. Each face reflected a personal history of trials. Each heart carried wounds unhealed. What were they willing to let go of? Is it fear? Anna found her voice. Fear of failure, fear of loss, or perhaps it is the weight of regret we hold on us so tightly. As she spoke, a wave of understanding washed over the crowd. Many nodded slowly, contemplating their inner struggles. The figure, seemingly aware of their reflections, extended its arms, the warmth of its presence washing over them. Let go of those chains. Release your past, and in its place, open your hearts to divine possibilities. Faint whispers broke through the air, voices creating a soft symphony of confessions. Some spoke of loved ones lost, others of dreams deferred. Tears began to glisten in the corners of Anna's eyes as she felt the pain and hope mingling, creating a sacred atmosphere of honesty. This gathering was more than a moment. It was a collective surrender. In an instant, Anna felt a stirring within. We can do this together, she called out, her spirit alight with an undeniable light. Let us cycle our fears into love, transform our burdens into vessels of faith. The congregation swayed gently, caught in the rhythm of her words, their hearts resonating with a growing sense of unity. Pastor Damien stepped forward, joining Anna's fervor. What if we brought forth our offerings of sacrifice collectively? Together we can lift one another, each burden holding the strength of all of us. The crowd erupted into murmurs of agreement. It felt right, as if they were stirring something ancient within their souls. The golden figure watched, its eyes reflecting a deep approval. Beautiful souls, together you are stronger than any storm. Let love be your offering. Let hope be your voice. Embrace the cost willingly, and the miracle will unfold in profound ways. Light began to pulse and spiral around them, the orbs above shimmering brighter than before. Each image grew clearer, the faces of those healed, the dreams rekindled, the love shared. As they stepped closer together, Anna felt an igniting warmth that turned her fears into ashes, revealing a blossoming faith rising like dawn. But just then, as the chapel glowed with divine promise, a shadow flitted past the edges of their collective consciousness. A soft murmur rode the air, whispering doubts even in the brightness. Will you truly sacrifice? Do you understand the depth of your commitment? The question stung like a sudden chill. Anna's heart sank momentarily. This was at the moment of truth. Would they stand firm in their collective promise? The urgency of the question forced her to confront not just her own heart, but the hearts of many surrounding her. Do we dare to believe? She whispered, unsure if her voice could carry the weight of shared resolve. As they stood on the precipice of transformation, the glow of the miraculous angels languished but held its brightness. It felt like a delicately poised balance between promise and doubt, an electrifying moment just before implementation. Consider your cost. The radiance resonated, wrapping around them like a cloak. In your answer, the change you seek awaits. Was it a challenge? A call to step forward? Anna held her breath as the realization settled in. Their next steps would shape not just their future, but the very fabric of their faith. What transformative path would they choose? With hearts aligned and faith ignited, they could sense an unfolding future filled with divine possibilities. Yet still, the question lingered: what was the true price of their miracle, and were they ready to embrace it? The chapel pulsed with an energy that was both exhilarating and daunting. Anna felt the weight of anticipation pressing against her chest, as if the air itself dared them to speak out. The golden figure loomed above, a beacon of hope and challenge. Its light wrapped around her like a soft embrace, urging her to look deeper inside herself. Children of the light, the figure sang, each word shimmering with promise. You stand at the threshold of something sacred. The price is not merely that of material things. It's the sacrifice of your very selves. What will you let go of today to usher in a tomorrow filled with grace? Anna took a breath, surrendering to the depths of this moment. Around her, the murmurs grew quieter. Impassioned faces, seized by the gravity of the words, held a myriad of emotions. Hope twinkled in eyes, yet hesitation lingered like a shadow. Release what no longer serves you, Anna coaxed. What if it's doubt, guilt, or anger? As she named the burdens, she could almost see them manifesting a tangle of darkness that threatened to ensnare them. One by one, members of the congregation began to voice their fears. I fear never being good enough, shouted a young man from the back. I regret words I never spoke to my father, an older woman added, her voice trembling with vulnerability. With each confession, layers of heaviness lifted. The golden figure nodded, its light basking over them like the sun breaking through heavy clouds. Each tear is a thread woven into the tapestry of your lives, it said. Together, you can create a masterpiece of faith. Suddenly, Anna stepped forward with renewed conviction. Let us not just share our burdens. Let us create a chain of love, one that binds our hearts together and breaks every chain of doubt. The congregation rallied behind her, voices rising in an anthem of hope. They began chanting, transforming their fears into a beautiful prayer, a gradual crescendo that spun around the chapel, wrapping itself around the golden figure, invoking joyous affirmations of faith. Love conquers all. Hope lights the way. Together, we rise. As the united voices enveloped them, the golden figure glowed even brighter, illuminating the chapel with divine brilliance. It felt as if all heaven echoed with their songs, each note pulling them closer to a collective destiny woven with faith. Yet just as their spirits soared, the shadows lingered like whispers on the edge of clarity. What will happen when you face challenges? The question echoed, a reminder of the path that lay ahead. Anna's heart quickened again with the familiar pulse of doubt intertwined with determination. This was the crux, the moment they had to decide, not just to release their burdens, but to actively embrace what was coming next. How would they respond when trials and tribulations sought to undermine their blossoming faith? Love is not merely a word. It is an action, the golden figure reminded them. Each of you can take that first step toward the extraordinary. Are you willing to risk vulnerability for the sake of divine love? The air thickened with anticipation, the question rippling through the hearts gathered. Anna felt a deep stirring within her. It was not just a personal resolve, but a collective urgency pressing her to respond. Then, as if summoned, a wave of clarity washed over her. We will stand firm. Together, Anna declared, her voice ringing strong with unwavering faith. In our unity, we find strength. We are not alone. Each step taken is an offering, and each fear released is a transformation. The figure smiled, the warmth enveloping them brighter than ever. Yes, dear souls, trust and love. It is the compass guiding you through the unknown. As their hearts became emboldened by this commitment, the chapel transformed into a sanctum of connection and possibilities. Anna felt the warmth envelop her. It flowed through the air like a sweet perfume, a divine promise. But still, a question lingered like a delicate mist. Would their commitment stand the test of time? When the path became tangled, would they remember this moment and the strength they found together? Anna closed her eyes for a heartbeat. She opened them again, her heart aflame with wild hope. The miracle awaited, but it required their courage first. The golden figure emerged even closer now, light spilling around them like the dawn after a long night. Prepare yourselves. Beloveds, you are on the brink of something truly miraculous. What awaited them at the end of this journey? As light shimmered and shadows whispered, Anna braced herself, ready to embrace the adventure that surely lay ahead. The miraculous beacon shone brighter, revealing a path yet unseen. A hush fell over the congregation, settling like a soft blanket. The golden figure shimmered, pulling everyone's gaze skyward, as if suggesting they should look beyond the chapel walls and into the boundless possibilities that awaited them. Suddenly, the air crackled with an energy that sang of divine potential, awakening dreams long left dormant. What will you do with this gift? The figure questioned, voice flowing like a gentle stream. Each moment is a sprinkle of stardust. Unseen doors of blessings swing open to those who dare to act upon their faith. A wave of excitement rippled through Anna. The warmth of purpose filled spaces in her heart previously clouded with fear. We will act, she proclaimed, emboldened by the graceful presence surrounding them. But we must cherish our vulnerability. It's our raw honesty that opens the door to profound connections. Around her, heads nodded in agreement. One by one, the faithful began to express their hopes, dreams, and even aspirations they had buried. I long to heal my relationship with my sister, whispered a woman in the front, tears glistening in her eyes. I yearn to share my music with the world, added another. With each heartfelt declaration, a harmonic shift occurred. Like flowers unfurling toward the light, their wishes wove together a sacred tapestry of dreams, merging under the watchful gaze of the golden figure. Do you grasp the magnitude of this moment? It asked gracefully. Here lies your power. Each yearning is a seed sown in trust. No dream is too small, no heart too fragile to be enkindled. Anna's breath caught. The weight of their potential stirred something deep within her. She could see it, all those seeds ready to burst into bloom. It made her heart surge with hope. What if we nourish each other as dreams? With our faith intertwined, what miracles might we witness together? The spirit of unity echoed in their hearts. The congregation rallied, their collective focus shifting from individual desire to shared purpose. In a moment of inspired courage, an elderly man stood, voice shaking yet deeply imbued with resolve. I want to leave behind my fear of speaking out. I've held back my voice for too long. His admission sparked a fire, lighting the hearts of others. I will share my story. Another agreed, igniting a chorus of agreement that filled the chapel. Together, in our vulnerability, we can break barriers. As each person stepped forward, Anna could feel the golden figure aligning with their intentions, illuminating the room more richly than before. The walls seemed to dissolve, creating space for something grand and uncharted, beckoning them toward the extraordinary. In unity, there exists a grace that can move mountains, the figure proclaimed, echoing the now familiar rhythm of hope. Sow your seeds, water them daily with love, and be prepared as they flourish in unimaginable ways. Anna sighed deeply, a wave of joy cascading over her. This was not just about them anymore. It was a movement of faith, a genuine commitment to embrace their purpose. Yet, with every resolve came an echo of caution. Were they truly ready for the journey ahead? Challenges were certain to arise, like storm clouds threatening to obscure their radiant sun. The figure reassured them, remember, beloveds, difficulties are but part of the path. How you respond is what shapes the garden of your dreams. Anna felt a stirring inside her. This was not only the beginning, it was a rallying call. We will rise despite the storms. Our love is our umbrella, and our faith is the ground beneath our feet. A collective cheer erupted, vibrating against the walls like the sound of thunder. As the echoes settled, the golden figure brought forward a silvery parchment. Today marks a significant chapter, it said, voice resonating beautifully. But remember, each moment cultivates a story yet to be written. With that, the air shimmered with promises of blessings that awaited them just a while longer down the path. Prepare yourselves, for the miraculous will soon be revealed. He who reads the signs must be ready too. Step forward. What wondrous events lay hidden beyond the horizon? Will they find the strength to embrace the unknown awaiting them? Anna's spirit surged. Ignited by excitement, the mystery beckoned her closer. As the last words of the figure hung in the air, Anna felt the stirring of anticipation enveloping the chapel. It was an energy so palpable that every breath she took seemed to echo in the silence, a moment steeped in divine promise. The golden light swirling around them knitted their hearts together, etching the collective resolve into the very fabric of their souls. Prepare yourself. The figure spoke again, its voice resonating with a warmth that felt like home. You stand at the threshold of miraculous change. Embrace what is unfolding. Anna sensed her heart leap in response to the summons. It was not just a beckoning towards the miraculous. It was an invitation to a deeper understanding of faith and community. Together, they would walk into the light. In that sacred space, one by one, members of the congregation began stepping forward, sharing their fears, dreams, and the challenges that had kept them paralyzed for too long. I have held back my gifts, admitted Helen, her eyes widening with realization. I've been afraid to step into my purpose. A ripple of support washed over her confession, hands reaching out, voices rising in solidarity. You're not alone. Someone called, the words echoing with conviction. With each confession, the barriers that had separated them began to dissolve, revealing a unity that pulsed like a heartbeat. Anna stepped closer to the figure, the warmth radiating from it washing over her like a summer rain. We can rise together, she urged, her voice steady. Let us commit ourselves, sow the seeds of hope into our community. Together we can heal, Pastor Damien echoed, lifting his hands toward the congregation. Let us embrace our vulnerabilities, transforming them into stepping stones towards divine purpose. The air grew thick with expectation, and Anna visualized a bridge forming between their hearts, a conduit for divine love to flow through, nurturing their dreams and washing away discord. The golden figure hovered above their collective energy, smiling radiantly at their commitment to step into the light. Now it commanded gently, "Make your offerings, or I would hold you back on a piece of paper, and come forth to release it. Lay it at this altar, for the divine is about to transform what you offer." A hush fell over the chapel as everyone absorbed the significance of the act, the release of doubt, the surrender of burdens. One by one, they gathered scraps of paper, their hands trembling yet eager. Anna's heart raced as she took her own fears wrapped in words, regrets masked in silence. She knew God was waiting for this moment. Together, she encouraged, rallying her family and friends to join her. "We can set our hearts free." A line formed at the altar, breaths mingling with prayers, as each person approached to offer their burdens. Anna felt a surge of unity emanate from their shared vulnerability. "This is the moment," came a voice from the back, igniting fervor. "A new dawn is breaking." As papers were laid down, the golden figure responded, "With each sacrifice, the path clears. Love will flood in to fill what has been released." Golden light poured forth, bathing the chapel in warmth. People turned to one another, eyes glimmering anew, the dawning realization fastened to their hearts. Anna watched as doubts faded like shadows at dawn. "This is only the beginning," she breathed, deeply touched by the transformation taking place. Finally, the last paper was set down, and an overwhelming peace washed through the chapel. "What now, dear souls?" the figure asked, its gaze sparkling. "Now we watch the miracles unfold," someone shouted, the response infectious, sparking a collective cheer filled with hope. The golden light pulsed, resonating with the faith anchored in their hearts, radiating warmth that spilled beyond the walls of the chapel, touching the village and beyond. Each member sensed at the anticipation of something extraordinary on the cusp of reality. "Prepare yourselves," the figure proclaimed, its voice harmonizing with the fervent prayers overflowing from the congregation. "The miraculous awaits." Those with open hearts. Anna could hardly contain her excitement as she cheered alongside her family and friends. The air felt charged with sacred possibility, their unity igniting a fire that would echo through the village and beyond. They were no longer individuals bound by fear. They were a collective of faith, ready to embrace whatever lay ahead. With a miracle woven into their hearts, the figure motioned to the moon above, brighter than ever, full of heavenly promise. "Step forth into the world with love and radiate the light you have found here," it urged. "Do not forget this moment, for it is a watershed of change, a transformation poised to heal." Anna looked around at her congregation. They were not the same people who had entered the chapel. They were awakened, charged with purpose, and interconnected by divine threads of faith. Tears brimmed in her eyes as she thought of Mark, who stood beside her, resilient and renewed. "Let us be the light in St. Mary's," Anna proclaimed, her voice stronger than the doubt that once clouded her heart. "Let's share this love, this hope, and let them see what God can do." And in that moment, they understood fully, miracles don't just happen. They're crafted from belief, born out of unity, and manifested through the hearts willing to embrace change. As the congregation sang praises, Anna's spirit soared. This was their moment, not merely a chapter closed, but an entire book opened, filled with stories yet to be written in faith's name. With hearts aligned and joy swelling, they left the chapel hand in hand, ready to face the world. Ignited by the divine love, they now carried the love that would not only heal Mark, but transform an entire village. They were a beacon of hope, a radiant reflection of faith, and together they embraced the future that awaited them boldly, unafraid of what lay ahead. Now is the moment of choice for you. You need to subscribe now to the channel to not miss the next exclusive faith stories that will uplift and inspire you. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and share the love. Your support matters. Comment below your reactions and testimonies about this powerful ending. Your voice is vital in our faith community. And share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this manifestation of hope and unity. Don't wait even one more second to spread the light. True servants of God know the importance of sharing these divine messages.